The following tutorial is about how to use keyboard inputs in order to control the actions of your actors in Greenfoot. So the first thing you need is some class to control. I've already created a subclass here of actor called Rocket, and if you don't know how to do this, you should check out some of the previous tutorials. So in my case, I'm going to alter the code of Rocket. So I'm going to double click on it, and that's going to open up over here on the right hand side. I have it set up so that it opens up the editor for the code of Rocket. And I am going to change the act method, which is the method that gets repeated over and over again automatically in Greenfoot. And there's a line in here that says add actions here. This line is just a comment, which I can see by the 2 slashes. I'm just going to remove that here, and this is where I'm going to put my actions. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a movement for this actor. So move 10, and I put semicolon at the end of line, right? And when I compile that and I run the code, what I get is when I right click on this, and remember on the Mac that you can do that by holding down the control key and clicking on the item, and I'm just going to click new Rocket, and when I drop it off here, it's going to already start moving at 10, and you see I can do this over and over again, right? But now what I want to do is I want to start actually controlling how that moves using the keyboard. So let me pause this, and now what I need here is an if statement. And just like my methods, begin with a curly bracket and end with a closing curly bracket, meaning that this is the body of what's going to happen whenever the act method gets called. I have the same thing for if statements. So I'm going to add a new line here, and I'm going to say if, and then something happens, and I'm going to add something inside these parentheses. That means anything that's inside these 2 parentheses is what has to be checked. And if that condition is fulfilled, then the action gets executed. And if that happens, then something will be done. And that's the body of the if statement. And again, I gonna have an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket. You see they're kind of nested here. All this is part of the act method, and all this is part of the if statement, right? So so let me add some a condition to check against. And in the Greenfoot library, there is a static method that can be used in order to check if a key has been pressed. So the code for this is key down, right? And since it's a method, like any other method, you have to use a parentheses to open and close, and there inside of that is where you're gonna pass any argument. So you see you have one open parentheses and close parentheses that goes from here to there, but then you have another one for this method that is key down, that opens here and ends and is closed over there. So what argument is it that I'm going to pass? Well, it is the it's in this case a string identifier for whatever key is being pressed. And Greenfoot has done us the favor of just making it very easy to say if left, and then if the left arrow is pressed, then I'm going to do something. So in this case, I'm going to turn, and I want to turn. Well, do I want to turn clockwise, or do I want to turn anti-clockwise? And really, if I turn left, I'm going to want to turn anti-clockwise. So I'm actually going to use a negative angle, and I'll do just negative, say, 2. Why not? And we'll see if that's enough. And turn -2. And let's see what actually happens now. Let's compile this. And then, oh, no errors, so I know I've done everything right. And now I'm just going to drop before I start my start my application. I'm going to drop my rocket right there. Now I'm going to run it. And now let's see. Ooh, you see that? I actually made it turn. You can actually, maybe it was a little hard to see there, but you can see that when I pressed the left key, it started turning. It didn't turn very much, so let's make it a little bit more extreme. So I'm going to make it turn -10, right? And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to repeat this code, but I'm going to do it check if the right key is down. So what I can do is I can very easily just copy the entire if statement and its body, which is between these open curly bracket and closed curly bracket, and I'm just going to copy it here by on the Mac you press down Command C, Control C, on Windows of course, but you know, essentially the same thing. You're copying the text, you're copying the code and just pasting it in there. Oh, there, not good. It got too much indented, so I'm going to just delete the indentation there to make sure that it's just, and that it makes it much easier to read the code when indentation and everything is right. So in this case, I'm going to do if right, and then if the right key is down, then I'm going to do something, and instead of turning a negative angle, I'm going to turn a positive angle, and I'm going to do the same thing as I did before, which is 10. So that means whether I press the right or the left, it turns as much, but turning the left key is going to make it turn in that direction, turning the right key is going to make it turn it in the other direction. So let's run it. Let's see here. Okay, ooh, I didn't compile, but you should always compile. And I'm going to drop my rocket off. So right click on there, new rocket, and I'm going to run it now, and you're going to see I can now control my rocket, and just getting on there. I can control it. I can make it go around, and I'm pressing the right key. Now I'm pressing the left key, and then of course I could do a lot more. I can make the up and down key, make it go faster or something. Oh, it got stopped there. I don't know why. But anyway, so there it goes. That's it. So essentially, if I don't, this program is responding a little slow there. There. Oh, you see now I'm controlling two rockets because of course they're using the same code, so they get controlled the same way. So that's kind of weird, but there it goes, and that's how you can use the keyboard to control the actions of your actors. So see you in the next tutorial.